Hey guys, Bridge here. In this video I'm going to recommend you the top 3 icon sets which I personally used for UI UX design projects for small and also large companies. And just before we get started, I also wanted to briefly discuss what really makes a good icon set, because there's so many icon sets out there and I personally used dozens and dozens of them, and I know that if you actually choose the wrong icon sets, you can actually waste a lot of time during design projects and all sorts of issues can arise. So I wanted you to avoid that. So the very first thing that we have to keep in mind is the fact that icon sets in and of themselves have some prerequisites for the very most part, especially if you're tackling a project which is going to be a long-term project. So the very first element is going to be scalability. So how big is the icon set? Because there's a lot of really fancy and good looking icon sets out there, but maybe they're not really big. So they might serve that purpose for a small part of the project, but maybe the app is going to expand and you're not going to have icons for even like basic necessities like user icons, search icons, all those things. So you want an icon set which has hundreds and potentially even thousand, which is even better, of icons. So scalability is one of the first things which I wanted to have in the checklist whenever I'm choosing an icon set. Now the other part is the file type and size. Now, needless to say, these days, especially if you're working in Figma, Sketch, or Adobe XD, icon sets must be in SVG format. Of course, then you can export them to PNG, for example, for the web, or even in JPEG if you have some specific needs or requirements. But icon sets need to be in light, they don't need to be heavy, and they absolutely have to be in SVG. That's almost taken for granted. Now, another thing which a lot of designers don't really consider is the responsiveness. And I'm not just saying if they're SVG or if they're vector graphics or not, but is the icon set going to work well on small screens? Because there's a lot of icon sets which look really cool once you browse them on the desktop, but then try and see if they are actually optimized for smaller devices such as mobile phones or tablet. And icons, it's really important to have icons which work well throughout and that don't look grainy, or that maybe they're just like outline icons, and then when you scale them down, you're going to lose the quality and the communication is not going to be on point. So definitely another thing to consider. And also the search features. Now, nowadays, I always like to work with icon sets which are either connected to Nucleo app or IconJar. And essentially what these apps are icon managers which allow you to work very easily. And basically I can literally search for whatever icon that I want, and I can drag and drop it into the project. And as you can see, this makes the workflow like 10 times faster than what it previously used to be, which is download an icons and you have like all sorts of different folders and you have to like manually go through each and every file. I mean, there's workarounds around that, but it's definitely going to not be the ideal solution. So search features, really important. And then ultimately branding, and that is really your call, meaning is the icon set which you're selecting good and consistent with the branding of that specific company? Because a lot of the times, there's a lot of icon sets out there which look really cool individually, but is it going to blend in with the brand identity? Is it going to check all of those points? So all those things are really important to consider. Now let's go into the meat of the video, and I'm going to show you the top 3 icon sets which I personally recommend whenever I teach my students or coach some newbies in the field. So again, I'm not sponsored or have any type of partnership with Nucleo Icons, but this will be my very first recommendation. Just go on nucleoapp.com or even on IconJar. It's the same pretty much. I just really like Nucleo for whatever reason. But simply click on download free app. Then you have your icon manager, and they're already going to have some icon sets installed. And my personal recommendation is to either use some of the free icons which they have at their disposal. There's also a paid one which is going to give you a lot of different icons, but that's definitely an icon set which I would use as a start. Now, another really good and famous icon set is, of course, Google Material Design Icons. And when it comes to those, you can either use Nucleo app, and I think it's already pre-installed. If it isn't, I'm sure you can find it for free, since it's a free icon set. And that would be my very best recommendation. And or alternatively, you can use the Figma plugin, which you can find in the Figma plugins. And as you can see, these are the Google Material icons, and there's like so many. They're just industry standard, look really cool. They have both outline and glyphs, so that's really good. So yeah, just a really solid icon set overall. Now, another icon set which I personally would recommend you to check out is Font Awesome. Now, Font Awesome has been an icon set which I used quite extensively during my career. And again, they have the free version, which for the most part has all the icons that you need for most projects. Then there's going to be a paid version where you have like more options for, for example, the outline and some dual tone colored icons. But for the most part, you can find a lot of icons in Font Awesome. So this would be my top recommendations. And by the way, I want to remind you that I recently launched a free UI UX design course, and I'm actually having this idea of restructuring my whole course business and offering all the courses in one single solution, that heavy discount. But on top of that, I'm also going to create a design community and also one-on-one access with me. So this is something which I was looking to create. If you're looking at this video in the future, you're probably going to already see the link in the description for all of this. If not, I would be curious to hear your thoughts on this solution. And if you'd be interested, simply DM me on Instagram. And yeah, we're going to open the first round of tests of this new solution soon. So stay checked on that. And on top of that, I want to remind you that on my channel, I have over 500 videos for free on UI UX design. Myself, I've been a UI UX designer for over a decade now. So it's been a long time, worked with over 40 clients, and I'm sharing my experience for free on YouTube. So feel free to check it out, and I'll see you in the next video.